Hi everyone, so basically this video is going to be me taking you through the process of how I buy and sell manga most of the time, specifically used manga for buying. So I mentioned this in pretty much every collective haul I've done, but the place that I use to buy used manga most of the time is called Mercari. And I'm going to be talking about Mercari for USA only, so I'm sorry if you're an international viewer, but there is a Mercari from Japan, which would be a whole separate video because you have to use a proxy service if you're not in Japan. But for this video, I'm talking about the USA Mercari only. Here's some manga that I'm selling. Komi can communicate. Not my favorite thing. You can check out my review if you want to know why. So yeah, I'm gonna take you through how I list things, how I package this once it sells, how I take pictures of it, etc. And then how I search for manga on there because it is a little confusing if you've never used Mercari before. And I'll also take you through how I make shipping labels, going over like the fees that they do take when you're selling stuff, etc. This is not sponsored by Mercari or anything like that. I just really do like their service, but it takes some getting used to, and there's some like tricks of the trade to make sure you're not getting anything sketchy or just that you're having a good experience overall. So first, I am going to take some pictures of this to list, and when I'm taking pictures of manga or anything specifically, it's really important to me to make sure you get every detail of the books, because I hate when you look at a listing and it looks all perfect, but then maybe like when you go on the inside, one of the pages is bent or there's like a little corner marked off or something like that. So when I take pictures, I like to include every little detail, and then obviously yellowing or any, like this one you can see the spine is kind of off center, etc. Like you can see there's some like minor shelf wear. While it may not seem major to someone out there may care, especially if their books are not in like mint condition. So I'll take pictures and then I'll get back to show how to list them on Mercari.
Okay, so here is the homepage of Mercari, and when you want to list something, you go here to sell, list an item, and then you want to get your pictures, and as you can see, I have pictures of spine, the top, bottom, the inside of the pages, the covers, the back covers, basically anything, and then if anything had like some really specific damage, I would also include that. And then you kind of just want to make your description. So what am I selling? Komi can't communicate manga. I usually try to do a more broad title, and then in the description I'll put Komi can't communicate manga volumes 1 through 5, and then also I put smoke-free home because I've gotten many books that smell like cigarettes and just want to let people know that it won't smell if you get it from me. And then I usually include minor shelf wear because some of the spines were a little tiny bit messed up, so I just put minor shelf wear, see images, done. And then for hashtags I'll just put manga, anime, Komi. Like, I don't know what else to put for that. And then for the categories, I usually put comic / collectibles / hobbies. And then condition, I put like new because these ones don't have any real damage. Brand, Viz Media. And then for the shipping, you can use the shipping from Mercari. I haven't weighed this yet, but I imagine that this box will probably be about 2 pounds. So if you put in 2 pounds, select carrier, they'll give you options for which ones you want to choose. Obviously, the cheapest one here is this FedEx Smart Post, which means that they'll give you a label for you to print out. You put it on the box and then you take it to the postal service or a UPS or a FedEx drop-off site. But there is this thing called media mail in the US, which is a really cheap option to ship books, CDs. I think learning materials is also the other category. So I always choose I'll pay and then ship your own. So I have to make my own label, and then when you make the label, you put the tracking number into this, which I can also show once this sells. But I make my labels on PayPal. You can also just go to the post office and say, I want to ship this media mail. They give you a receipt and you type the tracking number into here. And then price. So I think I paid $32 total for all these. And since these are like pretty new, they're not in bad condition or anything, I'd like to at least make up my money for them. So let me start with $40. You'll see the fees that they take out of it. So the selling fee is 10%, but since I've used this so much, it's down to 9.5. Woohoo. So they take out about $4, and then there's like another fee. I think this fee is like 5%. So total, I would earn $34, which is about right, but also I wouldn't be opposed to going down more. So let me just make sure it's all good, and then I'll list it. And then you can see the listing right here. Is listing. You can see the full spine. Like if someone wanted to zoom in and see when I said minor shelf damage, you can see there's a little messed up on the spine, whatever. So now we wait. If your item has been sitting there for a while, no one has like done anything, you can press this button called promote, and basically you can promote the item for, I think it'll do it like 5% less. So yeah, more people will see it essentially. Like it'll come up as like, ooh, this new low price, or someone might get a notification like, ooh, this manga has gone down in price or whatever. And also you can promote it specifically to likers. Well, there's no likers right now, but basically you can set your own price. So like if I wanted to offer this to someone who liked the item for like $35, I can do that. Let me just go to a random search like Kimi to Doge. Here, if I like this, like press the heart, that means that the seller can offer me a new price. Well, not for this one because you can't go lower than $5, but if it was something else, I would get offers. I like this one, it was $18 and they offered me to buy it for $16. So if I really wanted that, I would get that. So how I kind of navigate Mercari is I have my saved searches here. The first one I usually check is just straight up manga. Just manga, that's a search, that's it. And you go up here at the top and you can save the searches. You can sort ones that are for sale, ones that were sold already, the category, condition, brand, etc, etc. So when I first log on to Mercari, I usually like to take a scroll. Don't be alarmed by the really expensive prices of some of these things. Specifically like Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, you can usually see those for like $30+ for one volume. So just ignore those. Like here we go, My Androgynous Boyfriend, volume 2 for $26. So this is a volume that I do want to get eventually, but I'm not going to pay $26, no way. So what I usually do is I'll like it and just observe. I'll sit back and observe and see if they lower the price, if they offer me anything. If not, oh well. But yeah, but also when you're looking at listings, you want to look at the seller's profile. So this person, Vanny G, I don't know who they are, but when you click on a person's profile, you'll see their reviews. So this person looks like they have all 5-star reviews, and you want to look at buyers. So this person said packaged with care, friendly, love doing business, etc, etc. I think the reviews are very telling usually. Some people will have some really bad reviews and it will usually explain why. Like the packaging sucked, it smells bad, there was undisclosed damages, etc, etc. So yeah, always check. So this person looks like a pretty good seller. They're just selling something for extremely expensive for some reason. So yeah, I would just keep going, see if there's anything that catches my interest. Like no way I'm gonna pay $240 for 11 volumes of Beastars and Beast Complex. I don't think they're out of print or anything. Retail, this would only be like $140, so never pay more than retail, especially for used volumes. My rule, I usually try to at least get it down to half of retail price. So like a normal Viz volume is like $10. I'll usually want to pay no more than $5, but I will if I'm looking. If I'll pay like $7 or so if it's in perfect condition, etc. So yeah, once I've looked through the manga tag, nothing really caught my eye this time, but then just in case I missed anything, I will usually go into the more specific tags like Bokura no, or someone selling the movie, someone was selling volume 1, etc, etc. And then also I think I have down here, this one is more pared down to the category of comics. So some people list a bunch of random crap in the manga tag, just not related to manga. So this one, it pares it down to pretty much only books. Like you can see, there's no random stuff in this search. There's $25 for Chainsaw Man, which I'm not gonna buy. So I guess someone has a face mask in here, which is not manga, but you can see it's pretty much pared down to only manga. So yeah, that is basically how I search for stuff. And then my likes, these are just some stuff, like I said, I've liked that I'm hoping it will go down in price, or I also like stuff that seem interesting for me to look up later. Like I have no idea what this mermaid boys thing is, but it looked kind of interesting, so like it's a reminder to myself to go look it up on Mal or whatever later. So this is also how I kind of find some new stuff sometimes. And I also really like Nendoroids, but everything is so expensive on here for Nendoroids. Like if you look at the tag, it's insane. They be selling the high-Q Nendoroids for like $300 sometimes, which is not worth it. Don't pay that much, but it is really tempting sometimes. See like this Kenma one for $330, no way. And you also have to look out for fakes on here. For fake Nendoroids, just make sure that it has this orange seal type thing, usually means that it's real. And you can kind of tell from the faces and stuff. Sometimes you see fake ones on here that are like painfully obviously fake. I also forgot to mention, when you sell stuff on Mercari, you don't get the money right away. So when you send stuff, you want to say that you sent it out, and then you get the money when the buyer rates you within 3 days. If they don't rate you within 3 days, then you automatically get the money. But usually buyers will get it, they'll rate you, and then you get the money. So yeah, that's pretty much the process. That's how I find used manga most of the time. Just look at the deals, make sure the seller is legit that you're buying from. Obviously, if the pictures look whack, if they're dark, sketchy, you can visibly see damage that they didn't put in the description, don't buy those. And then I'll be back whenever this sells to show the process of me making a label and packaging it, etc. Okay, I'm back. So one of the things I forgot to mention before was the messaging system on Mercari. So if there's an item that you want, I'll just use this Sayonara football for example, you can go down here and message the seller directly. Ask some questions, ask them to upload more photos, ask if they'll give you a deal, a bundle, etc, etc. So someone has messaged me, it's been like 10 minutes since I listed this, and they said, could I buy 3, 4, and 5? Which means they're asking me to split up the bundle, which means I would have to modify the listing and list my 1 and 2 separately, which I don't really want to do right now since I just listed this. I would usually be willing to do this if this listing is old, maybe say like a week old. Then I would totally do it. I would totally give them a cheaper price, etc, etc. But since I just listed this, I'm going to tell them, I'm sorry, I just listed this, so I would prefer to keep it as a set for now. And also on Mercari, do not write things like Instagram, Twitter, like message me on Twitter or Instagram for a cheaper price, etc., because they will flag it in the messages and ban you. I think you get like 3 strikes, basically because they don't want people going on other platforms other than their platform, which makes sense, but sometimes you have to be really careful in your DMs. Like you can't even sometimes write a username because it'll detect it as like, this is not a real word. Like if I put Tsuki notes or something, they'd be like, what is that? And flag it. So just gotta be really careful in the DMs. Okay, hi, so it's a couple days later and I got the notification that this sold. So you're gonna click on it, and it'll tell me to pack it up and ship your item, and it will give the customer's address below. So now I'll go through the process of how I package manga and make my shipping label, etc. Okay, so how I would normally do this is first I would wrap my manga in something, either plastic. If it's one volume, I usually put it in a plastic bag, cut the top off. But if it's like a bundle like this, I usually wrap it in just some cardstock paper. So I'll do that first. Okay, so now we got your little brick of manga. So next I am going to wrap this in bubble wrap just for some extra protection. Okay, so the smallest box I have is this Barnes & Noble old box, and the height is right, but the width is a little big. So what I would do, I would not just leave this in here, obviously. You're gonna wanna put some stuffing on the sides, either packing peanuts, crumpled up paper, newspaper, whatever you can do to make it so that this like secure package does not move around. So I have both packing peanuts and paper, so let me decide how I want to do this. Okay, so that's secure in there. It's not gonna move no matter what kind of weird transport the postal service does. And then just on the top, I'm gonna add some bubble wrap just for some extra protection. So yeah, that's how I package manga most of the time. Just wanna make sure that it closes. My philosophy is that you can never have too much tape because you don't know what's going to happen with the weather, with the postal service, etc. You just want to make sure that nothing falls out, because I've seen so many cases of box getting like ripped open and then stuff gets lost, or your stuff shows up in one of those USPS bags that's like, sorry, your parcel was damaged, whatever. So none of that here. And then to have an accurate reading of the weight of the package, I do have this little scale, and so I'll weigh this, and it is about 2.5 pounds. So that is the weight that I'll use when I make the label, which I will show right now. Okay, so this is how I make labels. I will put the link in the description to how to get to this page to create labels, but basically you sign into your PayPal and then you get this notification and you just type in the address of whatever you're sending it to. And here, when it's under shipping information, you're going to want to choose service type media mail, because that is the one I mentioned that you can send books for. And then for package type, I just put normal package, it's not huge. And then with media mail, the price goes up by pound. So since my package was 2.5 pounds, I'm just gonna put 3. It doesn't matter if I put 2.5 or 3, it's gonna be the same price. So put 3 pounds, you don't need to add any of this other stuff, and then calculate shipping cost, and you'll see that it's $4, which is less than what did they have on Mercari for the FedEx Smart Post. It was like $8. You're paying about half. The only caveat with this is that you do have to pay for the label yourself. You're not getting it through Mercari ahead of time, so I'm gonna lose this $4 until I get my payment, whenever that is, whenever the buyer receives it. So I think I showed that I made $34 off this sale, so minus this 4, it's like I made $30, which is about what I wanted to make back anyway. So yeah, so then you just print this out.
Then you just want to cut out the label, stick it on here, and we're ready to go to the post office. Safety first. Okay, so I dropped off the package at the post office, and now basically you just wait until the buyer gets it, they rate you, you get your money, and that's it. On Mercari, you can use the money that you get in your balance to buy other stuff on Mercari, or you can transfer it to your bank as well. But yeah, I hope this video was informative. I hope you learned something. Maybe even if you are not in the USA, you got some tips on how to package manga or something. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little like tutorial type thing, because a lot of people ask me what is Mercari whenever I mention it. So yeah, that's what this is. That being said, I believe if you use my code to sign up for Mercari, you'll get like $10 off your first purchase. So I'll put that in the description if you want to do that. And yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day ahead. Stay healthy, stay happy, and bye.